Had to do it. The 90s are back. Mega, Fran, let's go, go. This is mutant music, spark the revolution to this. This is mutant music, X-Men, yes it is destined. This is mutant music, spark the revolution to this. This is mutant movement music, X-Men, yes we are legends.
Slash, universal with the vision. X told me get him, so I promise I'ma hit him. Started first class, so I'm leading every mission. Telepathic state smitten, beating races for a living. When I say it's on side, put the laser to your fitted. When I play Darwinism, they get bodied by the fittest. Crazy with the hands, they try to have me admit it, but I was too ill, now they calling me the sickest. Slash, Gene Splash will show you highs. See red during family fights. This divisor, I will knock out your life. 2020, you can view me in mind. Going to war for Cocoa, about to go spin the block for Genosha. Always stay woke, if my eyes were shown it. Take off the shades, some race get you broken.
I'm a little cynical civilian, trying to put me in the mode of the villain. And then wonder how I grow so resilient. Hit me with a take, still sitting in my brilliance. Try to be a saint, but I tolerate affliction. Breaking the restraints, so I follow with conviction. Never shoot blanks, red beam with a distance. Spreading like paint, jet stream, burning crimson. I'm Bishop, I be stepping on top of your squares for the mischief. Bonds better battle with pairs, cause I'm gifted. I don't follow patterns of the X, I'm different. Got a trigger finger for the next competition. Yeah, did I mention, if I'm in your timelines, I'm about to be missing. Try to bring division, we're fixing up the paradigm. I don't need to count on your existence. Yeah.
This is mutant music, spark the revolution to this. This is mutant music, X-Men, yes it is destined. This is mutant music, spark the revolution to this. This is mutant movement music, X-Men, yes we are legend.
Blue arming like a bird that candles. Don't ask if I'm devil or a man. I'm a force in nature in a form that you can't handle. What you think BAM stands for, huh? Look, I've been bruised and bloodied and bashed. Got my moves in your brain, but there's no thought faster than action. Hands up a little bit strange, doesn't mean you can't catch them. Not personal, kid. You're not the first to be worse than me. Yet every turn do you think that I'm not the one with the curse of me, but you don't know from adversity. The streets were unkind to me. People, the demons they see in the night with their piety serves not a thing but propriety. Guess they should know about the darkness inside of me.
No potential in my his connect is connect. Go with aces when losing my section. I've been a wild card, ain't no playoff projection. No playoff projection. These players pathetic. I make you regret a playing. Bojutsu be stepping, I'm stepping in. Like inside of my mind, I can't let you win. You ain't smoking and bang in my second hand. And if we call a spade, then I'm in the field making major plays. My shorty and roll, but game is game. Especially when you they favorite flame. You must be super stupid to confuse it. I wrote the crew and moving like a human. I'm not a human, little tool can prove it. We teach this mutant music like a movement.
It's the Big Blue, I'm an NYG. The grade A been a B, solid NYC. She see the blue face, she like Ben Ike. She step to my head blue when she see these feeds. Like why? I really think they hate your boy, so they destroy him. Cool, but this ain't for joy. Let's make some noise. I said I'll erase your boy. I'm a tune, lot of style, call me nature boy. My instinct and depth is the role that I play, but don't think it's a mess and control all the way. If the stress come my way, then I'm locked in the G code. Motionless, I'm unlocking the beast mode.
Metal for metal with metalist, mental metal with some heat on the side, it's unsettling. Now he an Iron Man. Who the metal, no F, I'm an Iron Man. What is this madness? Think you messing with big madness? Flow Mercury, push or pull, it's a magnet. Put the heat on your dog, now he mad match. He can go and play fetch with his cat. We'll just get rid of bar, tearing the script, scribbling against the R, throwing darts, thinking we hiding our hand when we got. We'll get it out of your body, brotherhood over a copy. Keep at the sloppy Magneto, we'll catch your body, ain't no wax, it's just whoop.
This is mutant music, spark the revolution to this. This is mutant music, X-Men, yes it is destined. This is mutant music, spark the revolution to this. This is mutant movement music, X-Men, yes we are legends.
You gotta find your work. Then when you tune into the movement, it's just fireworks. It took a while to work. Now embracing this my family of course. You set the one and then it's gone, get it poppin' like you swallowing perks. Don't get a bright idea, leave you bright-eyed with the bright light. Mess with the boys, you be seeing starlight. Throw you in the sun, now you sparkle like a twilight. All the colors on me, now they tune in for the highlight. Whoa, this ain't nothing new to me. Wipe your squad, celebrate, it's Jubilee. No how Beverly, ain't no lie. When it comes to the squad, I light up the sky.
That cloud in the sky, soft to the touch and the sweetest goodbye. But don't let her cry, the story could turn to a Noah's Ark. Don't wind me up, I ain't fit to pull us apart. Cause I'm a vortex with the Lord, yes. And the X-Men of mine knowing me, they've been blessed. Address, mere respect, not with static. Protecting the peace, systematic, climatic. A god amongst men. WWJD, y'all cannot play me. Higher than hierarchies go. Crown on black crown, as white as the snow. So what kind of queen? One that's forever. Weather the storm Your power losses are never. You can talk your talk. The omega is the last word. What's the forecast? I am her.
I'm the taker, a feeder, I want it, I grab it like follow the leader, I'm playing the gambit. My foe's gonna go sleep away, running through the mind all day. Don't wanna become my prey, keep out of my face, okay? I'm the anti-hero, impartial. Got perfect form, but these hands can be harmful. Tap of my finger, I can't help but startle. You're powerless, look at me, I'm the marvel. Ooh, got all that strength in my clutch. Ooh, gonna leave you with a crutch. Ooh, they say I'm doing too much. Ooh, yeah, you can look, but don't touch. Ooh.
This is mutant music, spark the revolution to this. This is mutant music, X-Men, yes, it is destined. This is mutant music, spark the revolution to this. This is mutant movement music, X-Men, yes, we are legend. I'm having dreams, they wake me at night. I'm strapped to machines, I can't even fight. The phoenix is burning, she's saving my life. And she might wanna come be my baby tonight, but she can't. She belongs to another. Then I'm recruited by the professor. But the team isn't really my steez. My animal nature, it caused me to flee. To get the truth about what happened to me. Adamantium, it's all in my genes. Animal instinct, ignoring the laws. Sense the smell about as sharp as my claws. Don't get me started, I'm a lethal weapon. Anyone stepping, I slice them in sections. Canada's finest, but I'm only home. Always reppin', always X-Men. Go, go. This is mutant music, spark the revolution to this. This is mutant music, X-Men, yes, it is destined. This is mutant music, spark the revolution to this. This is mutant movement music, X-Men, yes, we are legend.
Slash, universal with the vision. X told me get him, so I promise I'ma hit him. Started first class, so I'm leading every mission. Telepathic state smitten, beating races for a living. When I say it's on side, put the laser to your fitted. When I play Darwinism, they get bodied by the fittest. Crazy with the hands, they try to have me admitted, but I was too ill, now they calling me the sickest. Slash, Gene Splash will show you highs. See red during family fights. This divisor, I will knock out your life. 2020, you can view me in mind. Going to war for the core, about to go spin the block for Genosha. Always stay woke, if my eyes were shonen. Took off the shades, some race get you broken.
I'm a little cynical, a civilian. Trying to put me in the mode of the villain. And then wonder how I grow so resilient. Hit me with it takes, still sitting in my brilliance. Try to be a saint, but I tolerate affliction. Breaking the restraints, so I follow with conviction. Never shoot blanks, red beam with a distance. Spreading like paint, jet stream, burning crimson. I'm Bishop, I be stepping on top of your squares for the mischief. Bonds better battle with pairs, cause I'm gifted. I don't follow patterns of the X, I'm different. Got a trigger finger for the next competition. Yeah, did I mention if I'm in your timelines, I'm about to be missing. Try to bring division when fixing up the paradigm. I don't need to count on your existence. Yeah.
This is mutant music, spark the revolution to this. This is mutant music, X-Men, yes, it is destined. This is mutant music, spark the revolution to this. This is mutant movement music, X-Men, yes, we are legend.
Blue on me like a burnt the candles. Don't ask if I'm devil or a man. I'm a force of nature in a form that you can't handle. What you think BAM stands for, huh? Look, I've been bruised and bloodied and bashed. Got my moves in your brain, but there's no thought faster than action. Hands are a little bit strange, doesn't mean you can't catch them. Nothing personal, kid. You're not the first to be worse than me. At every turn do you think that I'm not the one with the curse of me? But you don't know from adversity. The streets were unkind to me. People, the demons I see in the night with their piety serves not a thing but propriety. Guess they should know about the darkness inside of me.
No potential in my his connect is kinetic. Go with aces when loose in my section. I've been a wild card, ain't no playoff projection. No playoff projection. These players pathetic. I make you regret a playing. Bojutsu be stabbing, I'm stepping in. Like inside of my mind, I can't let you in. You a smoke, let it bang in my second hand. And if we call a spade, then I'm in the field making major plays. My shorty and roll, but game is game. Especially when you they favorite flame. You must be super stupid to confuse it. I want the crew and move it like a human. I'm not a human, little tool can prove it. We teach this mutant music like a movement.
It's the big blue, home in NYG. The grade A been a beast, I let NYC. She see the blue face, she like Ben Ikea. She step to my head blue when she see these feeds. Like, why? I really think they hate your boy, so they destroy him. Cool, but this ain't for joy. Let's make some noise. I said I'll erase your boy. I'm in tune, lot of style, call me nature boy. My instinct and depth is the role that I play. But don't think it's a mess and control all the way. If the stress come my way, then I'm locked in the G code. Motionless, I'm unlocking the beast mode.
Metal for metal with metal is mental metal with some heat on the side, it's unsettling. Now he an Iron Man. Who the metal? No F, I'm an Iron Man. What is this madness? Think you messing with me madness? Flow Mercury, push or pull, it's a magnet. Put the heat on your dog, now he mad mess. He can go and play fetch with his cat. We'll get rid of bar, tearing the script, scribbling against the R, throwing darts, thinking we hiding our hand when we got. We'll get it out of your body, brotherhood over a copy. Keep at the sloppy magneto, we'll catch your body, ain't no whites, it's just.
This is mutant music, spark the revolution to this. This is mutant music. X-Men, yes, it is destined. This is mutant music. Spark the revolution to this. This is mutant movement music. X-Men, yes, we are
I learned you
legends.
gotta find your work. Then when you tune into the movement, it's just fireworks. It took a while to work. Now embracing this my family of quirks. You set the one and then it's on, get it poppin' like you swallowing perks. Don't get a bright idea, leave you bright-eyed with the bright light. Mess with the boys, you be seeing starlight. Throw you in the sun, now you sparkle like a twilight. All the colors on me, now they tune in for the highlight. Whoa, this ain't nothing new to me. Wipe your squad, celebrate, it's Jubilee. No hyperbole, ain't no lie. When it comes to the squad, I light up the sky.
That cloud in the sky, soft to the touch and the sweet as goodbye. But don't let her cry, the story could turn to a Noah's Ark. Don't wind me up, I ain't fit to pull us apart. Cause I'm a vortex with the Lord, yes. Any X-Men of mine knowing me, they've been blessed. Address, mirror respect, not with static. Protecting the peace, systematic, climactic. A god amongst men. WWJD, y'all cannot play me. Higher than hierarchies go. Chrono black crown as white as the snow. So what kind of queen? One that's forever. Whether the store power losses or never. You can talk your talk. The omega is the last word. What's the forecast? I am her.
I'm the taker of feeder, I want it, I grab it like follow the leader. I'm playing the gambit, my foe's gonna go sleep away, running through the mind all day. Don't wanna become my prey, keep out of my face, okay? I'm the anti the hero, impartial. Got perfect form, but these hands can be harmful. Tapping my finger, I can't help but startle. You're powerless, look at me, I'm the marvel. Ooh, got all that strength in my clutch. Ooh, gonna leave you with a crutch. Ooh, they say I'm doing too much. Ooh, yeah, you can look, but don't touch. Ooh.
This is mutant music. Spark the revolution to this. This is mutant music. X-Men, yes, it is destined. This is mutant music. Spark the revolution to this. This is mutant movement music. X-Men, yes, we are legends. I'm having dreams, they wake me at night. I'm strapped to machines, I can't even fight. The Phoenix is burning, she's saving my life. And she might wanna come be my baby tonight, but she can't. She belongs to another. Then I'm recruited by the professor. But the team isn't really my steez. My animal nature it caused me to flee. To get the truth about what happened to me. Adamantium, it's all in my genes. Animal instinct, ignoring the laws. Sense the smell about as sharp as my claws. Don't get me started, I'm a lethal weapon. Anyone stepping, I slice them in sections. Canada's finest, but I'm only home. Always repping, always X-Men.
Snicked. Yo, what's up, y'all? It's me, Mega Ran. It's awesome to see you and hopefully to be seen. I don't see you at all. I just see words, but I assume that those letters are people. What's up? Anyway, I do a podcast every week talking about one of my favorite new shows. Might just be my favorite new show. I'm talking about X-Men 97. This thing is called the X-Pod. And what we do is we break down each episode each week right here on Mega Ran's Twitch channel. And thanks to the good folks at Geekscape Network. But today, I have a guest. We've had some guests before. I want to bring in my guest right now. She's waited quite long enough. I appreciate your patience and also a common love for X-Men. I want to shout out to Queen's Court. Wait, what do you call it? Wait a minute. Is it the Queen's Gambit? It's the Queen's crew that is in here hanging out. I appreciate y'all so much. But without any further ado, let's make some noise for Alex. What's up?
Hello.
Hey,
Hi.
hey.
The
How are you?
Queendom. They are the Queendom.
The Queendom.
Yes.
Yes.
Welcome to the
Respect
Queendom.
Hey, it's good to be here. It's nice here. I like the Queendom.
Yeah,
Y'all
it's nice here in the Mega Ran factory.
Welcome. We don't even, what do we call our thing? I don't know. We're just the randos. And
Oh, the Mega Randos.
we are the randos.
There we
So,
go.
Yeah, we just you never know what we're gonna be doing. Sometimes it's video games, sometimes it's wrestling, sometimes it's comic book talk like it is today. So just wanted to thank you for joining us. And we do have a guest host or a co-host, my man Marcos, who is en route. He will be jumping in and popping up very soon. But for now, I want to jump in with an introduction to our guest. This is Alex. This is Queen of the Ring. I know you from so many wrestling events that we run into each other at.
Yeah.
I think I met you on Twitch first. I believe so, doing like Total Divas streams and things like that.
Yes.
I think that was how I came across you first. And then we just started running into each other at every wrestling event. And there's just been a great community of just passionate, amazing wrestling fans who pop up at events showing their love and enthusiasm for the sport that we love. So We are here to talk about X-Men, but really quickly though, Alex, first of all, how are you?
I'm great. I am so excited to talk about this show. First of all, I need to say, I brought out all of my figures here. I pushed back my championship to display
Yo.
my ladies. I've got Dazzler, I've got Mystique, I've got Storm, and I got the big old Rogue statue.
Yo, that's
And
some
I
huge work.
am a huge Rogue mark. So for this episode, I like immediately texted y'all and I was like, I need to come on. Finally. I need to come on. I need to talk about this episode. Oh my God. Yeah, this was a wild episode. So I'm really, really excited to be here. I used to work at a comic book shop too, and I used to get in trouble a lot for reading X-Men comics specifically. I was like, it's free.
Reading on
So
the job. Wait, they didn't want you to read the comic books? What kind of?
no, they wanted us to help the customers. Whatever
Oh,
that
boo.
means.
The best way to help a customer is to know what's going on in the new X-Men.
Yeah, I know. It's
I don't get
okay.
that. I used to work at a game shop and I had a friend who was like, we could take these games home and play them. But like, he was just saying that you couldn't actually do it. And then when I did it, they were like, you're not supposed to do that. And I'm like, but don't you want me to know about these games? Like, I don't understand that part of it. Like, I assume you want me to be knowledgeable. Best way to be knowledgeable is if I take this thing home,
Exactly.
I don't know, but I digress. So we know a little bit about your history with X-Men, being that you were working at a comic shop. What about the original series?
Oh, the original series, every Saturday morning with my corn pops. Just, I was watching the original series. I have two older brothers and they collected comics back in the day, like the Jim Lee run and everything like that. So I was deep into the animated series, but the animated series came out in 92 and I was born in 92. So I had a lot of catching up to do when I eventually came to, being an actual person and remembering things.
Yes.
But really, like, my love sank in with the original movies from the 2000s. They're what they are, but they're still good.
Yeah. They are what they are. That's the truth. We were just happy to see it on the screen. When it happened, it was like, it's a thing. Like, we were just so excited. So, but yeah, looking back, I don't know if they're particularly great, but they happened. And yeah, for better or for worse, they happen.
Listen, the best thing that came out of that like trilogy was the Nightcrawler White House scene in the beginning of X2. Do you remember that one?
Okay,
that was
yes.
like the best scene to come out of that. But they're fun, like, Sunday morning, just putting something on in the background kind of films. They're nothing too serious, unlike what we're gonna get soon this summer.
Oh yeah, we got plenty of series to go around in X-Men 97. Don't you worry. This is I think they purposely did it, and I'm glad they did. They made this for people who were children in the 90s who are now adults. I don't know if I could show this to like a kid per se, and they would even really truly understand it and feel it the way people who remember these characters would, because it's such a like stark difference, like, and the original cartoon has some moments where it got real, but it's like every episode in this one, and
I mean,
it's a lot to explain. I can't even imagine, like, this past episode, trying to explain this to like a kid would be really difficult, because it's like characters are gone and there's like a lot of mourning going on, and the mourning turning people into maybe different types of personalities. And so it's what grief can do to you. So it's a lot that I don't know if kids would fully grasp, but man, I don't know. They've been kicking all types of ass with this show. I have not seen a bad episode yet. And we're about to get into episode 7. And it was just, man, I don't know. But anyway, before we jump into that though, I love to talk about history with X-Men, but you brought up movies. So I actually want to talk about the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer. I don't know if you've seen it. Have you seen it?
I have. I've seen it like several times by now. I'm so excited for them to finally get into the MCU.
several times. It looks good. All right, so just in case you hadn't seen it, I actually have it here, and I'm going to show it right now. So let's watch it for a 700th time.
I told you, you're not welcome here. You're not welcome anywhere. Now get the fuck out of my bar.
Just give me one more drink and then I'll leave.
Hi, Peanut. I'm gonna need you to come with me right now.
Look, lady, I'm not interested.
All right, well, I'm sort of on the tick-tick, so upsy daisy. Here we go. Hey. Oh, whiskey dick of the claws. It's quite common in Wolverines over 40.
You don't want this.
Unless you want to take a deep breath through your fucking forehead, I suggest you reconsider. I'm about to lose everything that I've ever cared about.
Not my fucking problem.
Is that what you said when your world went to shit?
Come again.
This Wolverine let down his entire world.
Want to talk about what's haunting you, or should we wait for a third act flashback?
Go fuck yourself.
I don't know anything about saving worlds, but you do.
Trust me, kid, I'm no hero.
You were an X-Man. You were the X-Man. I am soaking wet right now.
Boys are so silly.
This is what I'm talking about. Big slow motion action sequence. Who knows if you live or die? Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.
Want to do some cocaine?
Hey, cocaine is the one thing that Feige said is off limits.
What about Bolivian marching powder?
They know all the slang terms. They have a list.
Even snowboarding?
Even disco dust.
White girl interrupted?
Even forest bump.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Yes! But I can't.
Holy crap. Okay, so
So good.
oh
So
man,
good.
that looks so good. All right, so I don't know if you caught that, Marcos. Welcome,
Yeah, the trailer?
welcome to the party. Pal. Yo, it looks good, right?
It does.
The addition of
How am I looking out there on the interwebs?
You look like you out like vacationing somewhere, like a boss.
Yeah, it looks like you're in a mansion.
No, it's actually my wife's cousin's house. Today was a nightmare. Are we live? Are we streaming somewhere?
We're live, pal.
We're live, pal.
Oh,
We're
man.
live. We're doing live.
So basically, I've been helping out in IT, and I visited my mom. I'm doing a bunch of stuff, man.
Well, I mean, I hope everybody's doing well, but you're doing the most. Getting your weekend started early.
I am sorry, everybody. We were supposed to start this a while ago. I'm glad it turned into a live reaction show. Are we recording this live?
We are recording it live, baby.
Let's do
I
it.
thought that was the best way to get it done. It's two birds with one stone. This was my
Yes,
stream
sir.
time, but it was also pod time. So here we go. We get live reactions. So if anybody at any time wants to jump in with a comment, question, you just might get recognized and immortalized on the pod forever.
And I assure everybody, I don't look like my setup doesn't look like trash like this. I'm over here
You
trying
look
to set
like,
up.
I mean, you look like you're like chilling. This is like,
I
is this
am.
like from a Rick Ross video shoot or something.
No, I'm poolside because they're cooking, and I don't want them to interrupt the good times. You know.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm sorry, everyone. I'm poolside in the mansion, in the Xavier mansion here.
Live from the X Mansion and poolside. Oh man.
Yeah,
Must
you
be
know,
nice.
I'm talking to Xavier about what is he going to do when he gets these people in front of him, and he has to explain that he wasn't dead.
When he gather up to people, my gosh.
He got some explaining to do.
But hold on, I don't know if you guys noticed that. Just jumping right in, the mystery character that we got introduced, he kind of alluded to the fact that the X-Men knew he's not dead, or maybe they're I don't know, maybe Xavier messed with their minds because they initially knew that they were gonna have some issues. I don't know.
I wasn't sure if when he said that, he said like, oh, they have a secret, basically, like if they knew, or if he's gonna twist it like they knew and then turn that into like more propaganda. Because like the human versus mutant war is basically on and popping at this point. Like there's no coexistence at this point. They've killed dozens of mutants. So now anything they can use as far as like ammo to be like, see, they be up to stuff, is more.
They be doing it. Watch out for them.
Watch out for them, people. And I tell you, man, the coded language in this show, that's not always so coded, but it's so on point because clearly, and we've talked about it in earlier episodes, the human versus mutant dynamic has a huge parallel to the LGBTQ plus community.
This was clearly also had a lot of racial undertones for this episode.
For sure.
There was a lot of like you people language in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like
there's a lot of it, man. All right, so we're gonna jump right into it. I don't know if you got your script handy.
Yeah. I'll pull it up. I'll pull up the script. Let's see if I got this link. I got the podcast link. You know what? I know what my part of the script is.
Know your part?
I know my part.
All right. Okay, so let's get it started. X-Men 97 revisits the iconic era of the 90s as the X-Men, a band of mutants who use their uncanny gifts to protect a world that hates and fears them, are challenged like never before, forced to face a dangerous and unexpected new future.
These adventures are chronicled in the X-Pod 97. To you, X-Pod.
All right. You nailed it. That was about 96%. Not bad.
It's all good,
right. We are here. It's still an A. Episode 7, titled to be determined, with our guest host, Alex, aka Queen of the Ring. So, all right. So this show, and I hate to be like accused of recency bias. It happens to me a lot, where like the newest thing is always the best thing. We see a match and we're like, oh, best match I ever seen. Good thing, and it's the best thing you ever seen. I said that 2 episodes ago, episode 5 is what catapulted this series past the original X-Men animated series. And I was very hesitant to say that because I don't like to say, oh, this is better than that. But I just feel like it got emotions out of me that I never thought I could get out of this series. So I'll just ask y'all around the table, is X-Men 97 better than the animated series so far?
I say our guest first.
I would say yes. I would say yes, but also the original run does hold a good nostalgia part in my heart. But X-Men 97, I think, and like you were saying, Megaran, where this isn't a show that I would show like kids. I don't know if I would be able to like fully process this show if I was a kid, but now that I'm in my 30s and processing this and I can understand what's going on, it's light years better than the original run.
There it is. I think so too. Marcos, what say you?
I say this is light years ahead. I understand that this is not made for children, and I had a conversation with a buddy of mine, and I just let him know. I was like, it's technically is made for kids, but it's made for the kids that were watching this in the 90s. And we were owed this piece that we're getting now. So now the kid at heart, we're getting the stuff that we should have gotten before, which is a more like realistic view on things. Like this episode like cemented what we were both thinking 2 episodes ago, that this is fire. and honestly, they're cooking. It's like we're sitting down to a 10-course meal, and we're not even at the entree yet. We're like we finished the apps, and now we're digging into the soup and the salad or whatever have you. But like we haven't gotten our entree as of yet, and I'm digging this. Like they could say, oh, they could have said to be continued season 2, and I would have been like,
yeah, I think that's a really good point, a way of describing this episode. This is like setting the table perfectly for what's going to end, because it's a 3-parter to end it, right?
Yep.
So this is perfect. We got set up. We're at the top of the hill on the roller coaster, and it's like, see you next week, because it's about to go down. And I thought it was perfect.
It was. Now, are you going to get into the summary so we can start dissecting this meal that we got? Go ahead,
All
man.
Right. Okay. Episode is called Bright Eyes. I'd read a couple of old things where they were trying to deduce where they were going when they saw the title, because it was a Rogue quote from the original series about Cable. So people thought, it's going to be about Cable. But anyway, I digress. Let's read. As the X-Men hold a funeral for Gambit, sad, Rogue angrily searches for Gyrick and Trask. After gaining information from General Thunderbolt Ross and Captain America, Rogue finds Gyrick in Mexico and absorbs his memories. Gyrick is killed later that night by a mysterious man who is working with Sinister. While assisting in the recovery efforts at Genosha, the X-Men are contacted by Trask, who tells them that he is in Madripoor. They get Rogue on the way. Roberto and Jubilee visit Roberto's mother and break the news that he is a mutant. She says, it's fine, just keep it a secret, which we've heard a lot. In Madripoor, the X-Men learn that Sinister and a mysterious organization called OZT have been developing a highly advanced Sentinel program. Rogue drops Trask to his death, unknowingly activating a program that turns him into a giant human Sentinel hybrid. Cable arrives, helps him defeat Trask, and explains that Sinister is working with a greater threat that they must stop. I'm gonna stop there. We kept talking about who's the big bad. Is it Sinister? And a lot of us felt like, no, Sinister is a mid-boss. He's never been a final boss type character. There has to be somebody above him. And it turns out that this threat is Bastion, who reveals.
Well, a couple things. Bastion is known to be a minion of Apocalypse. And just a couple things. And this was debated heavily this week. The Trask that we saw was not actually Trask. It was Bastion disguised as him. So Trask wasn't even there. The whole thing was a setup for Bastion to get the X-Men to go and collect data for their fight for the Sentinel version of the other guy. That was a collection. That was a collecting mission there.
Wait, are you talking about Gyrick, or are you talking
Gyrick?
about...
Yeah.
Okay.
So Gyrick was that was the whole purpose of why Bastion set this up. But Rogue never actually spoke to Trask. That was actually Bastion pretending to be him to use his powers. It was a couple content creators, and actually Disney came out and said in their plot that it was actually him in disguise. Really? And so my man took that mutant draining power and didn't care. No. Like you think about Bastion had Trask still at that mansion where Rogue was at, but presented the dummy version of him to get the X-Men to fight that Sentinel for so OZT can collect data. And for those of our listeners and viewers that don't know, OZT stands for Operation Zero Tolerance, which really has so many different meanings in this. It's like zero tolerance of mutants, but it could be applied to a lot of real world things that we're facing right now.
Yeah, there's some layers to that as well. But
there's bars.
Ultimately, there's bars. This has more layers than one of Scooby-Doo's and Shaggy's sandwiches, because we are stacked up here. So, all right, I'm gonna get into some of my favorite parts. First of all, I didn't really know a lot about Bastion. I had to do some reading. Marvel apparently agreed because I got like 2 emails just being on Marvel Studios email list being like about Bastion. Here's a random email card with all his stats and what he is. So Bastion is the anti-mutant master of Sentinels. The X-Men villain who blends man with machine and exercises total control over technology in his bid to eliminate all mutants.
And one of his bios, because there in comics there's so many different versions of it. He's not human. He's he's AI basically. He's an AI in tissue form. That's what he is.
You mentioned Nimrod earlier and being able to see him in the intro. We didn't even talk about that, but actually we usually talk about the beginning of the show. And Queen, I'm sure with this show you can't skip the intro at all because one, the music slaps. 2, you might just see something that's going to be a clue.
A nice little Easter egg,
This one though, I think it was a pretty similar intro to last week. I don't think
they didn't change anything really.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't change anything. They still included Nightcrawler with this intro, and even in the spot when they're like running, they included him as well. But yeah, usually like this throwback scenes that they show is little hints into what we're about to get in the episode, but nothing's changed. So interesting, even though this was a slapper of an episode.
A slapper indeed. All right, so Bastion, they could just an easy way to call him is a combination of Master Mold and Nimrod. Just a giant mutant killing machine that is not human. Now, something I saw is very interesting. You talked about a lot of the writers, the staff have been active on social media. One of them is a guy that we just kind of can't seem to stop talking about, and that's Bo DeMaio, who is the executive producer, creator, head writer of this show, who, as we know, was let go right before it all started.
For reasons unknown. Which
I
really want to know now.
We've tried to speculate. We just don't know.
He's kind of in his Charles Xavier era right now. He's just off in space. He's a little bit.
Yo, wait a minute. Okay, now you got me thinking. Because everything is pro wrestling. What if at the end of the season, he's like, I'm still here.
It was me all along. It's the Vince McMahon.
He's swerving us.
Higher power
I think
Is
reveal.
he swerving us? Bo might be swerving. I didn't think about that.
They're gonna bring out like the coffin. It's gonna be like SmackDown Live. It sets on fire, and the Undertaker like knocks it down, and Randy Orton's face. That's how it's gonna be.
Oh my gosh! He says, and he's been super active on Twitter. He said, Bastion has been manipulating things all along, and he has been in every episode except for episode 3. So if you look back, Bastion has appeared in every single episode, which is crazy to me to think. That's wild. But there's one spot I particularly knew is during some of the Forge scenes where they're showing old photos of Forge with his army buddies, and there's one photo of him with Bastion, and he's like his head's cut off, but he's in the picture. You can tell by the body.
Little beard.
Yeah, you can see a little bit of everything but his face. So he's in everything. And even the one that he's not in, he's heavily referenced by Mr. Sinister. He said the real hard part is going to be trying to find him in episode 1, and he left that to our imaginations.
I think I figured it out.
Wait, what?
Episode 1.
Really? How?
I do.
All right, what is it?
Okay, so in episode 1, when it's Madeline, not Jean Grey, going into, I think it was Gyric's head, there's a flash, right? And there's all these visuals that come up. There's a visual of a boy with a purple crayon. So that might be Bastion as like a kid. She's seeing into it. That could be it. He's associated with the color purple. what is it? The purple
people eater.
eater.
Yes.
So my man was out there like Agatha from WandaVision. It was him all along.
It was Bastion all along.
Yep.
So they bring him in perfectly right before this 3-part trilogy. So now you know exactly where it's going. But Marcos, you think that there's another layer to the big bads.
I think the big reveal, and I don't think they're gonna let Cable talk because at this point he knows how to defeat them, which means that they're in the future they have these hybrids. So I think I don't know if they're necessarily trying to stop these hybrids for Sentinels for being created. I think he's trying to prevent something pivotal from happening to the X-Men, or one of the X-Men in particular, that changes the future to where humanity is hunted and they're like prey. Because I think Cable right now, him going back to the past, he showed that it's light work for him. He just came in like pow pow, and it was like, oh yeah, all you need is this, brother. Like my bad. And then he proceeded to give Scott L's out of nowhere. That man Scott can't get right. Like as much as they made him the man episode 1, right now Scott can catch a break. My man came in and he was like, "Shut up, Dad. This is more important things to do than to talk." Like,
yeah. I feel overall
his fake mom recognized him. That's the crazy part. His fake mom.
Yo. Cyclops.
His own dad was like, "What? Like we had drinks
Stepmom.
together."
Right.
I don't even know. What do you call that? Yeah, like your alternate mother?
Alternate stepmom? I don't know. All right. So I want to talk about the MVP of this episode, which is 100% Rogue, in my opinion. Much like last episode, Storm got to shine. Rogue goes to new heights in this episode and to new lows. Apparently,
I want to talk about the scene, and I'll let you continue, but I want to break down the scene.
The scene,
in my opinion, I know there was a lot more deeper plot, but this was the scene that did it for me. I popped. I was sitting down on my couch, like Leo went that right there.
It's like one of those every episode where you're like, hey, that's it. All right, so tell me about the Rogue scene.
The scene when she rolled up and Captain America was sitting there, and she like went to him. So, yo, you rolling? And he was like, nah, it's not. Like she didn't even care what answer. She just heard nah. She was like, all right, let me borrow that. You don't need this, son. Like, yo, that was the pettiest thing.
Oh, it's so good.
Ever. And she threw it in like mountains that seemed frozen, like where he was encased in. So your man was like, really? And he probably had no tracker on it. So I can just picture like a whole bunch of like shield forces just out there like combing the mountains. Like, hey, anybody find it yet?
Hey, you seen it? I thought it was just gonna come back, maybe, but you know, that wouldn't have been
like a boomerang.
You're like, just comes right back. And he's like, damn it, she got away. You know, it just crashes. But like,
I don't know. Maybe the audience could chime in, whoever's watching this live. But he kind of like he had a little bit of bass in his voice. But when he saw how angry she was, he was like, "But nah, let me tell you what I found." He like calmed down and was like, "Yeah, I hacked the system."
He's like, I mean, for the record, I don't feel like Cap was totally wrong. Like what he was saying was like, "Yo, me dressed like this, going into Mexico, right, causing all types of damage. Like it's just not the move. Like it's we gonna cause all types of incidents." And he's not wrong. However,
he did his job, but it's like, you know,
when you're hurting, you don't want to hear that. So ain't nobody trying to hear that. So that's really what it came down to, was like, so you're not with me, so you against me. All right, I get it. And
I thought she was gonna take the shield though. And then she was going to
cause she should have
caused an incident with it. Like, wait, why she attacking Mexico with the U.S. with Captain America's shield? He gave it to her. Like,
that would have definitely caused the incident. There's so much that Rogue did, but somebody mentioned Nightcrawler in the comments, so I'm gonna jump to Nightcrawler and then come back. So Nightcrawler offering the eulogy for our fallen man's Gambit, And the cameo of some of the Thieves Guild was pretty dope. That was a nice little throwback. And I like how he was like, you know, he wasn't a bad guy,
but he wasn't a good one.
He wasn't a good guy. But man, he was a guy, yo. Like it was there was a lot of like, you know, like him being very like real about like how, you know, how conflicted, you know, Gambit's life has been. You know, as you know, he started off with a group of thieves, went through a whole lot of different things before he, you know, came to the good side, but ultimately gave his life in like a selfless manner. So he's like, it's complicated, but you know, he was our man's. We love him. So I like that. And
like,
again,
yeah, like, you know, he's cool.
You know, it's
he dropped some truth bombs though. It's like he basically said a thug's prayer.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
a thug's prayer. There's two moments.
Touching.
Yeah,
I was gonna say it's very touching that he did the eulogy, since he is Rogue's brother and this is Rogue's lover doing it. She's nowhere to be found, but she was everywhere to be found in this episode. I'm so excited to talk about her. But yeah.
Yes, I wanted to get to you for sure, Alex, to talk about Rogue's role in general in the series. Like what's been your relationship with Rogue? Has she been one of your favorites? Or and what do you think about how she's been portrayed this season?
Rogue is one of my favorites because of the original show. I like instantly fell in love with Rogue when I was watching, and that carried on to the 2000s movies because Anna Paquin's Rogue, the sad goth girl Rogue, was like the center of the storyline in the first movie and then kind of in the second movie, and then she disappeared. But this, I feel like with this series, it's not just Rogue. With everybody else, they truly like they polished up all of their powers, and they're using all of their powers to the best of their ability that they can. Especially it's easier because within animation, like the first episode with Cyclops blasting himself and Sunspot away from the enemies, I was like, ain't no way we're doing this. Storm turning the sand into glass is like insane. So this episode with Rogue, I mean, every episode so far, but this episode in particular, especially when she breaks through the army base,
the prison,
the prison, the base of it, like
she called
that
it Rikers,
scene in
which
particular. But that scene in particular, like, man, she, like, oh my god, it was just.
She's been
so great. She's been doing it so well. They really like, they're using, like, I feel like they're utilizing her the way that they should, and she is not this like sad little girl that's you know. And even they tried to do something with the character of Rogue with Anna Paquin during Days of Future Past, especially with the Rogue cut, if you've seen that one. And they try to fix things up, and she was kind of associated with that storyline. It just never made it to the theatrical release. But yeah, with this episode, and like with when she broke into the base, and there's one part where she like twirls in the air and she's going down for the kick, and it's the same kick from the video games from like Street Fighter versus Marvel and Capcom versus I know you know. So yeah, that I was like, all right, you
that
got
was
me.
Perfection. Like such a great moment, a call to people who've lived and died by the Marvel versus Capcom games, and just really would appreciate that. Such a small thing, but man, like these little love letters to the stuff that we grew up with is always appreciated. So there's a moment, and we didn't even get to it. Well, Rogue does something that's kind of unthinkable for superheroes, but then again, we haven't really seen superheroes go through this kind of, you know, grief. So as a result of this grief, and to get revenge, she drops Trask off the edge of the skyscraper. And Morph turns around and says, "Is this what we are now?" And I was like, I mean, I was thinking it. I was like, wait, what is going on?
And he wasn't joking.
No, he wasn't joking.
But-
He's normally super jokey, but he was like, yo, is that what we do? And
But
so
that's also what Rogue is, though. Like, she started off as a villain in the comic books. In her first appearance in the Avengers, she was a villain. So that's who she is, but she wants to hide that side from the X-Men,
Right.
which rightfully so.
a number of them are, or have villain tendencies for sure.
Like
And
Gambit.
so I look Gambit. We talked about it, the conflicted nature of a lot of people, and like the person who responded, except Scott. Scott's goody two shoes all the way. But Wolverine responds. Yeah, it was Logan who says, "Oh, she just did what we all wanted to do." Like, might as well.
He's like, "Oh, it's just Tuesday for me, brother."
He's like, "I would have done it. I'd have done it if it wasn't her. So why are you tripping?"
Like, why do you
gave her the
think I do
pass.
these solo missions?
Yeah. They gave her the hall pass. They're like, listen, she's dealing with a lot right now. If anybody's gonna do it at this point in time, it's gonna be her. Unfortunately, they didn't know that it was going to result in the activity of the program, but it was still like this whole episode, the way that they've been carrying her grief. Because again, like Logan said to Jubilee in the beginning of the episode, where, we all deal with grief in our own ways, and this is how Rogue is going to do it. She's going to seek out revenge, and she's perfectly doing it. And when she showed up to Captain America's house, that was insane. And I love it because
it wasn't his house.
Well, it wasn't his house. It wasn't his house, but like where he's, settling in.
Yeah. We
but
had a question from the audience asking, why is Cap in full uniform at this cabin in the woods?
Okay, so I want to break that down. That was the OZT headquarters that they found through actual intelligence that Captain America was following up. He got there right before they already, right after they already evacuated. That's why he was there. The actual house or the cabin was just a front. The base was underground. So that was not his house. He wasn't randomly chilling there. He was on a recon mission because he was trying to find Trask, and that's why he was there. That was the original compound or Black Ops site for OZT.
Okay. And OZT, we will get into, I'm sure, as this goes on. They haven't mentioned what it's going to stand for, but we do know that. Also, there was a Roxxon little Easter egg thrown in. I think the building next door was Roxxon. I was like, okay. I like the clever additions of little things from the MCU that actually make me wonder what level of canon this show is. Are we in where are we in the MCU?
I think in the MCU we're in another parallel universe. I would say we're in a different Earth. But in the original run, they did tie in with Avengers. They tied, like, Doctor Strange rolled up, Spider-Man rolled up, and now that all of these, characters are in the MCU, I think they're still a part of it. They were just kind of like hinted at, like Fantastic Four, now that they're entering the MCU, they've always been in the background, but never directly in the conversation. And so I think that's the case with with this X-Men series. Also, I'm pretty sure the soda that Morph drank was the soda from the Hulk movies.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So
Wow.
But
that's
from the original Hulk movie,
Yeah.
which is like never referenced pretty much. So that's interesting.
But what you guys also noticed or have to notice that crap, I lost my train of thought. No, that that in previous when they other characters appeared outside of Spider-Man, because they used the same Fox Kids Spider-Man for the X-Men, is that every other character was like this weird wonky version of them that looked like them, but the animation was so janky. Like if you go back and look at the appearance that Doctor Strange made, he looks nothing like they ever drew him. It looked like Doctor Strange if Doctor Strange like was super pale and wasn't American. Like this is weird.
Like
No,
Doctor
but
Strange drawn from memory.
Strong Jake.
yes. But my favorite part of the interaction with Rogue and what's it called, Captain America, was when she asked him the point blank question, like, "Oh, are you siding with mutants?" Basically, hey man, stop straddling the line. Who you with? And he kind of backpedaled, was like, "Oh, well, it's complicated.
Yeah,
I'm just out here on a mission." Like, you know, like he
She
didn't really
also
double
called
down.
him-
He just said,
yeah. She called him America's top cop, and I was like, dang,
"Yep,
that's literally what we've all been thinking.
But is she wrong?
Eh,
But
she-
is
she
she
ain't-
wrong?
she
I
ain't
also
wrong.
want
She
to
not.
touch base on what we were talking about before with Captain America not wanting to go to Mexico, especially in his suit. Well, one, I do want to point out that the motorcycle in that scene, the license plate, is an Easter egg to the first appearance of Rogue in the Avengers comic books. I think it was Chris Claremont's
Claremont.
run. Yeah.
Mhm.
So big shout to that. Love that Easter egg.
Mm.
But I think that's interesting because after Rogue is in Mexico, she she absorbs the power and then she kind of blacks out, and then Nightcrawler finds her. There's a Dios de los Muertos, festival that's happening. So my theory is that the timeline of this is taking place November. And if that's the case with all the political stuff that they've been happening, they went out to get Magneto to have like an official trial with Magneto. There's heavy protests happening in Washington. I think that the elections are coming up. And if you remember with Cyclops having that conversation with President Kelly, he's like, I wish I can help you, but with voters, I can't. And he's looking out for his own ass,
Yep.
And he knows that to do the right thing, he should help the X-Men. He should help the mutants, especially after this huge massacre that happened in Genosha. But they're not, he's like, I can't do it. It's the voters. And that's what I love about X-Men so much, is that when they tie in the political aspect of it, they tie it in so brilliantly. But I think that's also the case, and we're going to see a lot of that maybe this season or next season for sure. But yeah, I just think it's interesting. And I think that's also the reason why Captain America is like, listen, I represent America. Like my whole suit, my shield, like you're right. I am America's top cop, right? RoboCop, pretty much.
Yeah.
So going to Mexico and helping the X-Men doesn't look good for the entire country because he's representing the country.
Yeah. Like it's the like the dilemma of having to represent everyone's interests. You know what I mean? Like I can liken it back to Obama getting elected and black people being like, oh yeah, we good, let's go. And he's like, yo, I'm the president of America, of all of America. Like,
Yeah.
not a small section of it. So yeah, it was a lot of, and it wasn't so coded when Cyclops was having the talk. He's
oh
like,
my god,
man,
he was like,
he went hard. He's like, you're kind, and you're like, it was a lot of like,
Yeah.
yo,
It was heavy.
It really
we might get a what is it? Not Future Days Past. I don't know if you guys remember the 90s run when Wolverine was with Storm and Rogue was with Magneto, and the X-Men were kind of like on their own, and Scott's younger brother was a part of X-Force. Like we might be leaning towards that, because during that time you get a broken Scott. Like Scott is rocking the beard, long hair, and he's like, he doesn't stand for anything except revenge. So I don't know. They're pushing him. Like this man has nothing personally and professionally going for him at this point. Age of Apocalypse. Yes.
Days of Apocalypse. They've definitely been on a Days of Future Past path. Chris Claremont, as you mentioned, I actually saw an article. They were like, they're leaning too heavily on Chris Claremont's past like glories of X-Men, and they're not moving forward enough. But the show is great, so who cares?
Yeah, there was whoever wrote that was trying to
good.
get eyes on their article.
It's
Whatever.
Yeah.
also like this is a reintroduction, and if we got to go back to the original script, right? We got to do that.
Can't
Like
go forward without going
about
back.
exactly like in the movies that they're setting up right now with Deadpool and Wolverine. Like they're doing some experimental stuff, you know. But this is happening right now, so we need to touch base a little bit. You know, we need to be on the same page pretty much with X-Men. So I don't see a problem with it.
I don't either.
I don't either. I don't think anybody does. It's like if you're searching hard enough to try to find a critique, and your only critique is they're leaning on the past too much, then like come on. If it's good,
Hey,
it's good.
just phone it in. You just hating. Just
You
like,
hating.
come
So
on, man.
speaking of hating, I want to get to probably one of the most interesting sub stories of this episode before I wrap up is Sunspot, Roberto coming back to his family. And there's been a thing throughout this entire show of him being afraid of sharing his big secret with the family. So Jubilee comes back with him as a support system. He sits down with his mom, and mom knows. She's like, "Oh man, I already knew. It's fine." And he's like, "Wait, it is? Okay." You get the relief, and then it's like, just as long as you keep this a secret,
Because we got shareholders, and it's like,
we got shareholders. And I was like, wow, like this is probably a real conversation that plenty of people, in marginalized households have had, where it's like, hey, do your thing. Just don't be like throwing it in people's faces. Don't be. It was very, very much coded and very weighted, heavy language that was used there, and that's not a mistake. I know that these things happen, and it's very, very purposeful. Where it's like, hey, man, we got people watching. Like, don't be out there flaunting it. Like,
yeah, and like with that, like it's very coded within like stay in the closet. Like it's very coded within like queer culture of having that moment of coming out to your parents and being like, that's great, I'm happy for you, but you can't tell the rest of the family, and even at that time in 97, like being gay at that time was a huge no-no. You had the don't ask, don't tell movement coming in,
Yeah.
So like it's very reminiscent to that as well. And again, that's not an accident with the X-Men.
And we need to address how wild disrespectful she was having this conversation in front of Jubilee, knowing who she is. And it's kind of like, oh, you're like the most mutiny of the mutants because you're an X-Men, like you're on TV. But then she was like, screw all that. Y'all gonna have to keep this on it's like look who's coming to dinner, but in mutant form. Like, you know what I mean? It's like that's cool. You can love them or whatever, but just keep it, like you said, in the closet.
Keep it on the low. Keep it on the low. So that was very cool. I had to make sure to mention that. And also, Bill DeMaio talked about and retweeted someone who said, "Oh, you know what? Bright Eyes, the title." And they came up with this really cool theory. They were like, maybe it's not about just what Rogue said about Cable. It's also the theme of this episode, which is optics. The president is concerned about the optics of helping out mutants. Cap is concerned about the optics of helping the X-Men in Mexico. And Roberto's mom concerned with the optics of shareholders, of family. There's three ways it came together. It's like, I'm like Charlie in front of the board here, where I'm like, it's right there. It's all connected. It's all connected. Because I see it. And it's like, man. So now I got the title of the episode, which is going to be Optic Blast. That's right.
First of all, now that you mention it, like it hit me. Like I felt for your man Cyclops when first of all, he cried. He pushed his visor up a little bit and closed his eyes and had to have a clenched tear because he can't cry like normal people. Because people die,
like, that's crazy. Yeah, like think about that. He's had to go through that his entire life, not being able to be like just blurt out tears because he could just wipe everybody out.
And it's an emotional season for him. My guy is going through
so much.
Next episode,
he had a baby. He thought his baby mama was his baby mama, and it wasn't his baby mama. He had to give his baby away. Genosha, and he thought that Madeline was. Yes, he didn't get to lead the X-Men, and he thought Madeline was in the rubble, and it was actually Emma Frost, who's also like his side piece.
Everyone, his other side chick. Yo, this man is like,
it's my ex. Oh.
You're like,
he could have been crying for that.
Like my baby's mama, fake baby mama, and now my other baby mama. I don't know what to do.
Other baby mama.
He's got baby mama problems.
Oh, man, poor Scott. Yo, we need mutant therapy by the next episode, please.
Man, next episode, he's gonna be in a robe, just wearing the glasses, like just
beard.
out there.
Full beard.
Eating Funyuns, like, yo, you coming out? He's like, nah,
I'm good.
Eating a tub of ice cream, like.
If anybody deserves an episode off, it's Scott, man. Like, let him chill.
Also, at the end of this episode, he reunited with his son. His son was like, nah, we don't got time for all that shit.
Yo,
we do not have any time, sir.
Yo, hold on. Can we talk about how they both gave him up and the Cable was like, nah, Mom Dukes though. You nah.
Dang, man, poor guy.
That's crazy too, because he was like he was the most distraught about abandoning Cable. Yeah. And like it's heavy emotions. He's like, my son, and he's like, actually, well, you, Dad, like, actually, no way, Dad. I don't know if I can curse, but yeah.
No, it's fine.
Actually, my man got no rap. Like, my man was like, anyway, so
he let all his teen angst let out in that one moment when he came out of the portal.
If you think about it, his scar that could be mascara. He was just like, I don't love you, Dad. Leave me alone.
He's going in his emo phase.
Yeah, like,
it's not a phase, Dad.
It's not a phase. Man, poor Scott, man. Like, man, we got to get some mutant therapy going at some point in this show because he needs to
do a bonus episode of what would you say to Scott if you were his therapist at the end of this run.
Yo.
Do you remember how WWE used to put up those like therapy commercials?
Yes.
Like back in the day, they should do that with Cyclops.
Yo, for real.
It's just Cyclops for like 2 hours.
Yes, for real. Oh my!
And then
God.
I can picture him like, and then my son came, and I was like, son, and he was like, hey, shut the hell up.
He's like, nah, get out of here, dude. Speaking of, I guess maybe a little disappointment, but also we get a grand reveal by the end of this show, end of the episode. That was one person that we thought might have been dead. It's not dead, and that is Magnus. Magneto is alive.
Man, he survived everything.
I mean, and I kind of figured, I was like, you can't kill off Magneto. It just can't happen. But one last thing, there was a great Sunspot quote that I wrote down where he talked about, look at what happens when we don't hide. And he talks about like all the things that are happening in the world and how like they want to attack us, they want to kill us, and all these other things. And there was so much great language that was reverting to like the real of what society thinks of people sometimes and the worst that can happen. So there's a lot of intentional references to all types of, hate acts, you know what I mean, that happen to mutants. And but let's get to the end though. Now we got Magneto, who I knew was going to be around, but he's getting shaved. And Bastion, who at this time we didn't know, is referring to, he starts talking about what heat can do to you. Like, oh, heat will soften the skin. That will also, heat, like explosions and fires can soften people's, it can damage things like that. So he's making a lot of comments about that. And as he's shaving Magneto while Purple People Eater is the song. So Bastion is, again, a guy I didn't really know a lot about, but you still feel like he's not the top bad guy at this point.
I think they're gonna approach him as the big bad, and at the end, like the X-Men has been doing, there's gonna be a bonus scene a la Thanos, and he's gonna be like, fine, I'm gonna do this myself. And because I wholeheartedly believe that, and you heard it here first, at least from this podcast, from us three, that Gambit is coming back and he's going to be one of the 4 Apocalypse riders.
What? Oh my God! All right, you got some crazy theories here.
No, think
That's
about it.
wild.
How Professor X saw him as the Pale Rider of Death, and he was so
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll be watching. That's crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah, all right. I mean, I'm here for it if it happens. So now we're seeing that as ruthless as Bastion is, maybe he's the top guy, maybe not. But being able to have a strong character like Magneto in such a like compromising position is definitely setting him up to be a guy that we should, you know, respect or at least expect some major, you know, stuff from.
You got to point out the fact that he's using a metal razor and Magneto's being shaved for the first time and he's actually vulnerable. I'm pretty sure Magneto shaves himself like having the razors go around and they won't cut him. But this man has all the power. That is a old school villain power move. He's just like, so, you know, and he's just there because he's like, that's crazy. Like, imagine if he like just slits his throat. They're not going to do that. But like the guy
Just
that controls
do some like Sweeney Todd shit.
Yeah, like the guy that controls metal gets killed by a razor blade.
Yeah.
Like,
That'd
you
be
know what I
wild.
mean? Like, it's
But
crazy.
also he has the collar on too. So to be that close with a sharp metal and you're it's not under your control is like, it's heavy stuff. It's very interesting. When Magneto came through, jaw was on the floor.
Yes.
I was like, hey, no way. But
That
then
was
I
a
was
great-
like, what
that was
about Gambit?
I know, but we're like, but Gambit though, please.
But what about
Gambit.
Gambit?
All right, I will say, Marcos, you might be on to something just because, again, I don't know. Again, it's just like wrestling. The more we're on Twitter, the more we know. And then we're like, dang, I know too much. So Bo has been tweeting heavy. And one thing he said is after all the deaths happened last episode, he said, she's dead for real, referring to Madeline. Or maybe referring to Emma or whatever. But he doesn't say he's dead for real, you know, referring to Gambit, which he could have said, but he did not. So maybe we will wind up seeing,
or maybe I'm full of
your
shit.
man back.
You don't know.
But you just don't know. This might just happen. But we now get to a perfect serve up. This is like the perfect pitch right over the middle for them to knock it out of the park in 8, 9, and 10, which is where supposedly things get real. And we get down to a big climax and conclusion. So I'm looking forward to it. But as far as a setup episode goes, I think they completely nailed it. We saw Rogue's distress at full color. We got to see her responding. We got to see a lot of great things from pretty much every character. Wolverine still playing the back, which I think is okay. I'm ready for some Wolverine, but he always has the right thing to say though.
But hold on.
Perfect though.
It is.
Because
But
we've gotten too much.
we're not going to end this episode without talking about how the Sentinel gave her the one-hitter quitter. Like, and everybody else acknowledged it. He was like, they were like, holy smokes.
Yeah, he's like, yo, he knocked her out in one
and
punch.
she's out.
Yeah.
They were like, what are we gonna do? You know what I mean?
Right.
And then on top of that, your man was play-by-playing everything. He was like, threat eliminated. Threat eliminated.
Yeah.
It was like, God, dog.
Yeah. And they know, like, Rogue's the most powerful X-Men. So, like, to be like, oh, if you catching it, then this is very serious.
And it was like, he slept her, like, complete, like, man, they slow-moed it and everything. So
this gives you an idea of how powerful, you know, these this next, you know, enemy could be. So how will they find their way out of this one? And now that we know that, like, everybody's not invincible, people can die, people can lose, it really does put you at the edge of your seat, like, what's gonna happen? And I'm into it. So now we must rate the episode.
Yep.
And we'll start with our guest, Alex. What do you rate this episode? We do 1 to 10. We have only done a 10 once, and it was episode 5.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it had to be. And I didn't even want to do it, but I was just like, it's too good. But you know, I always like to leave room for improvement, you know. But this show is pretty awesome. So what say you?
This was okay. This was a very heavy Rogue episode, and like as you guys know by now, I'm a huge Rogue mark. But overall, like this was a very to me, it was like a flawless setup for what we're about to experience with this like 3-parter. Like there's room to grow, of course, and there's room to do other things and explore other things, slow down in different stories, but I would sincerely give this an 8.5.
Okay.
That's where I'm going.
Good.
All right. Marcos, what say you for this episode?
Well, in some circles, I've been known as a guy that likes everything. However, I just love consuming media, and like one of our viewers right now just said that this is a cinema we all wanted. That being said, I give this a 9 because until somebody surpasses episode 5, and this was close, but episode 5 won by a nose, I'm going to give this a 9 with just saying that I could have gone higher, but I chose not to.
Okay. I can dig it. I'm going to give this one an 8. I think 8 is very good. You know, 80% is great. It's the perfect setup, you know, and setup episodes, they tend to lull a little bit, but there was at least 3 moments in this where my jaw dropped, you know what I'm saying? And so if you can get a jaw drop more than once, it's a phenomenal piece of media. So I'm gonna give it an 8, and maybe if I watch it again, it might make it to 8.5. Who knows? But I will give it an 8, and I stand on that. Looking forward
to business.
8, 9, and 10. Taking this show over the top. I think at this point they could completely crap the bed on the last 3, and this would still be one of the best series I've ever seen. So they could just show up and be like, X-Men win, yeah, it's over. You know, you're like, wait, what? You know,
the last 2 episodes is just them celebrating at the mansion.
They playing basketball. Yeah. It's like, all right, this is a very long basketball tournament. 3 episodes, okay.
And then the last episode is Cyclops going to therapy.
Yeah,
just sitting there, but like it's not him in therapy. It's his adventures getting there. Like his car needs gas, finding parking. He's going upstairs asking if they validate, and they were like, "No, sir, we don't validate."
No, we don't.
And then they were like, "Still the matter of your copay," and he's like, "What?" like just.
It's just like mad mundane, and then like the moment, then he sits down and he's mad, and the guy's like, "So what do you want to talk about?" And then it's over. Black.
Yeah.
But with him taking a deep breath, like.
I love that it's the Cody Rhodes. So what do you want to talk about?
What do you want to talk about? All right. Speaking of Cody Rhodes and wrestling, Alex, you are pretty much everywhere on the internet with wrestling takes, as well as all types of wrestling related stuff. Tell the people where they can find you and how to do that.
Yes, of course. Thanks again also for inviting me on. I texted y'all because I was like, I need to be on this show with y'all. I need a platform to talk about this. So thanks. I appreciate it. So you can follow me if you're still on the Twitter app, Queen of the Ring with 2 G's. You're watching this on Twitch, twitch.tv/Queen of the Ring there. YouTube.com/Queen of the Ring Wrestling. That's primarily where all of my wrestling content lives with my podcast. There's the WWE draft coming up. I got a mock draft video that's really, really cool. A lot of fun to make. And I think that's it. Yeah, _ Queen of the Ring also on Instagram, and that's where you can find me.
All right. Well, Marcos, tell the people how they can find you.
At the Sunset Kid 56 on all social media except TikTok, because I'm old as hell and I'm not gonna get on TikTok to start dancing. I do have a Twitch channel, but that's more for friends, for me to show things to them. But yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, and you can also catch Marcos every week here on XPod 97, which is sponsored by the good folks at Geekscape.net, your home for nerdy, geeky content on the web. I'm Mega Ran. You can get me at Mega Ran. It looks like Meg Ryan when you're not looking real carefully.
Oh, it is. It is.
You switch your eyes, you'll be like, "Does that Meg Ryan follows me on Twitter?" You know, but no, it's me. So yes, I will be around doing all types of things. I do streams a couple days a week. I make music, and we got a new X-Men song out, which is called Mutant Music. You can go get that on all of your streaming platforms. And that's about it. We'll be around. Tell us what you want to see. We got 3 more episodes of this, but I do want to keep the X-Pod going. So we might just deep dive into X-Men comics, X-Men movies. We could do a real watch along. I haven't seen the old X-Men movies in a long time. So
we should definitely do that. And
that would be fun.
For those that do follow me on Twitter and basically Twitter, I'm still doing that WWE 2K code giveaway. I'm extending it by popular demand. We're going 1 more week because I'm also traveling, and I want to make sure that I give folks an actual chance to win the code. All right. Thank you again to the folks at WWE 2K. We appreciate y'all.
That's right. Follow them on Twitter right now for a chance to win. And get yourself a copy of that game. This is XPod 97. Thank you so much for joining us, letting us bring X-Men talk to your living room or wherever you listen to your podcast. And as of now, we are currently holding on tight in the top 20 of 30, maybe 25. I don't know. We're somewhere in there.
Get us higher. Get us higher, people.
All we need you to do is listen and give us a thumbs up, give us a rating on whatever podcast app you listen to us on, and then share it. Hit that share button, put it up in your story, tag us. We will gladly retweet it. Talk to us about what we missed today, what you loved, what you didn't love, what you want to see in the next episode. And all I want to see now is more Beast. That's it. Yeah. That's all. I just want more Beast. I want Beast to shine a little bit before this is over. And I feel like we'll get that.
Instead of him love story.
He shut down that chick, that reporter. He was like, patting my back while I go take care of my brothers.
He's got a little love story that they need to. They've been teasing that, bringing back. So we'll see. All right, y'all. Well, I'm out like Gambit. See y'all later.
Oh, come
too
on.
Soon? Is that too soon? I'm sorry.
Never too soon.
Sorry, y'all. Anyway, this is XPod 97, and we'll see you next week. Peace. All right. Okay. Let me get y'all.
Had to do it. The 90s are back. Mega, Fran, let's go. This is mutant music, spark the revolution to this. This is mutant music, X-Men, yes, it is destined. This is mutant music, spark the revolution to this. This is mutant movement music, X-Men, yes, we are legends.
Slash, universal with the vision. Ace told me get him, so I promise I'ma hit him. Started first class, so I'm leading every mission. Telepathic state smitten, beating races for a living. When I say it's on site, put the laser to your fitted. When I play Darwinism, they get body by the fittest. Crazy with the hands, they try to have me admit it, but I was too ill, now they calling me the sickest. Slash, Gene Splice will show you how to see red during